Hello. Today I'm going to be narrating for you the time Daniel and I visited the Apple Store. I'm Nathan. That petted papoose depicted in that photo is neither me nor my halfling effigy. I actually don't know who it is. Now, if you've come upon this slideshow narrative in hopes of indulging your upsurging mind with a beautiful and melodic old chestnut, you've come to the wrong place. However, if you've dug up this brain-baffling, depth-dissolving pervasion of perception in hopes of eradicating X amount of minutes of your earthly breath and time, you still may not have come to the right place. It all happened that one day, at that one time. To your right is Daniel, and as your eyes scroll slightly to the left, you behold Nathaniel, son of Paul. That is me, a copyrighted likeness. When we first arrived, the air foretold an uneventful business hour, but that soon changed when Daniel and I stumbled upon a handful of brightly colored pills that could have been easily mistaken for jelly beans. The outcome of our pharmaceutical discovery looked like an episode of The Smurfs, evolving afterwards into a horrifying repercussion of several mesmerizing visual gimmicks. It was neat at first, but the redundance of it all bored us before the trip was even halfway through. The ironic factor was that none of the staff seemed to care that we were causing a ruckus in their store. Superseding our little action sequence, a realization struck us in the noggin. Things were not back to normal. The pills we had ingested but 10 minutes earlier had distorted our spatial structure, but also gave us the newfound ability to deviate our own eccentric realities. To test this ability, Daniel and I agreed to spin reality in a counterclockwise fashion, back to a much simpler era, when all men had large noses to demonstrate their dominance. Success! It was evident we could use our powers by our own free will. The border of our ability was that we could juggle reality as much as we pleased, but we could never reshape our physical appearance back to the way it was. We had become permanently transfigured, but was it for better or for worse? Both he and I were overjoyed that we could utilize our powers voluntarily without consequence. We would be considered two pariahs in a world that desires normality, but what did we care? The opportunities we now bore the burden of were so much greater than any standard human. I felt the need to voice my opinion at this time. However, Daniel didn't take it too well when I declared we should manipulate our powers to fight crime as mysterious and hideous vigilantes. With no limits, no jurisdiction. Daniel had another idea. To him, vanquishing the enemies of justice day and night while being despised by the commoners was a dirty taboo with no pleasant reward. What a fool! His irresponsible alternative solution to our awkward predicament was that we have fun with it. Now what a fool was I when I conceded without hesitation. And so we did. The word fun is rather blunt when our true misadventures were grotesque and more outlandish than devising a bubble where I looked very similar to Jay Leno. I cannot quite say we were used to our new lifestyle just yet. I suppose the infinitum of our macroscopic omnipotence and omnipresence was too much for us simpletons to handle all at once. Sometime within that hour, our friend Samuel chanced upon us in a rather perplexing stupor. With her mouth ajar, we recalled the entire moment and how our changed lives were being formed, or rather, deformed. She longed to join us when she realized we now lived under no rules and could do whatever we wanted. Fortunately, there was a single remaining pill that resembled a jelly bean on the countertop, which she hastily inhaled once we told her it was the source of our power. In freedom, she unearthed true strength. It was the song of all songbirds which allowed her to fly atop the marvelous hills glazed in sacred icy foot soldiers during the summer of the mind's pride. Together, all the powerful trinity drank the fine wines of glorious, unnatural entertainment and feasted on the duck seasoned with the 10 pleasures, 4 of which are not even perceived by the typical peon spirit. True freedom came from the heart of acceptance of one's abnormality.